Imagine waking up tomorrow to a sound no human has heard in millions of years. A deep, guttural roar echoing across the countryside. You step outside and see something impossible. A massive bird-like creature, 10 feet tall, staring right at you. Welcome to the world where terror birds have returned. This is not science fiction. This is a thought experiment. And the question is simple. What would actually happen? Let's find out. First, let's understand what terror birds actually were. They were a group of giant flightless birds known as Forus racidae. These creatures dominated South America for over 60 million years. That is longer than humans have even existed. The largest species, like Kalenkin, stood nearly 10 feet tall. Their skulls alone were over 2 feet long. Their beaks were curved and sharp, designed for one purpose: killing. They could deliver a strike with the force of a sledgehammer. Their legs were powerful and built for incredible speed. They could run faster than any human on Earth. Imagine a predator combining the speed of a cheetah with the power of a bear. That was the terror bird. They were the apex predators of their continent. Nothing could stand in their way. They hunted everything from small reptiles to large mammals. And they did this for millions of years. So what happens when they come back? The first reports would come from rural areas in South America. Farmers would find their livestock missing, torn apart by something unknown. Security cameras would capture blurry images of towering figures. Social media would explode with videos and wild theories. Governments would initially dismiss the reports as hoaxes, but the evidence would become impossible to ignore. Within days, terror birds would be confirmed as real, and the world would panic. Military units would be deployed to affected areas. But these creatures are not easy targets. They are fast, intelligent, and incredibly aggressive. A single terror bird could take down an unprepared soldier. They would quickly learn to avoid vehicles and helicopters. Their survival instincts are millions of years old, and they would adapt to modern threats with frightening speed. Rural communities would be evacuated. Cities would become fortresses. Fear would spread faster than any virus. The return of terror birds would devastate modern ecosystems. They would target livestock first, causing economic collapse. The beef and dairy industries would be destroyed overnight. Next, they would hunt deer, wild boar, and other large mammals. This would disrupt the entire food chain. Predators like wolves and cougars would face fierce competition. Many would starve as terror birds take over their territory. Plants that rely on herbivores for seed dispersal would suffer. The entire ecosystem would be thrown into chaos. Scientists would call it an ecological catastrophe, and there would be no easy solution. But humans are not helpless. We have technology, science, and determination on our side. Drones would be deployed to track terror bird movements. AI systems would predict their migration patterns. Specialized fences and barriers would be designed. Research teams would study their behavior around the clock. We would learn their weaknesses over time. Some would suggest capturing them for scientific study. Others would call for immediate extermination. The debate would split public opinion sharply. Conservationists would argue they deserve protection. After all, they were here on this planet first. Farmers would demand action to protect their livelihoods. Governments would struggle to find a balanced approach. It would be one of the greatest challenges of our time. The future would depend on the choices we make today. Could we learn to coexist with terror birds? Designated wilderness areas could become their sanctuaries. Ecotourism could turn a threat into an incredible opportunity. Imagine safari tours to see terror birds in the wild. But the risk would always be present. Children would grow up in a world with new rules. Schools would teach terror bird safety. Homes would be designed with reinforced defenses. The world would never be the same again. But perhaps that is not entirely bad. Nature has a way of reminding us who we share this planet with. The terror bird is a symbol of the wild, untamed world. A world that exists far beyond our control. And that is something worth remembering. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, Could you survive a terror bird attack? Their eyes were massive, giving them exceptional vision. They could spot prey from over a mile away. Their hearing was equally impressive, detecting the slightest movement. These were not just simple animals. They were evolutionary masterpieces. If they returned, our advanced technology would be tested. Thermal drones and motion sensors would become essential tools. Every home in affected areas would need security upgrades. Life would change in ways we cannot fully imagine. But here is the most important question of all. Are we as a species ready for such a challenge? History shows that humans have faced extinction-level threats before, and we have always found a way to survive. The terror birds would be no different. We would adapt, innovate, and overcome. But the world we would live in afterwards would be forever changed. So the question remains, what if terror birds returned tomorrow?